She called me a simp in front of our friends. It was supposed to be a casual dinner, just 6 of us sitting around the table, laughing, drinking, pretending life was perfect. But when I leaned over to refill her glass, she smirked and said it loud enough for everyone to hear. "God, Ryan, you're such a simp." The table went quiet. A few nervous chuckles. I froze with the bottle still in my hand, heat crawling up my neck. "Come on," she said, rolling her eyes. "You don't have to do everything for me." Everyone laughed then, except me. That night, when we got home, she brushed it off like it was a joke. "You're too sensitive," she said, tossing her shoes by the door. It was just a word. But it wasn't just a word. It was a small, sharp knife slipped between the ribs of my pride. I'd always thought marriage meant partnership, 2 people taking care of each other. For years, I'd supported her through everything. Her career shifts, her anxiety, her late-night breakdowns when she said she didn't feel good enough. I listened. I reassured. I showed up. And she called me weak for it. The next morning, she was cheerful, like nothing happened. She made coffee, hummed while scrolling through her phone. But something in me had cracked. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. The secretive texts, the way she angled her phone away, the sudden bursts of laughter when she thought I wasn't listening. I asked once who she was texting. "Just friends from work," she said. "You wouldn't know them." Her tone made me feel foolish for even asking. Over the next few weeks, she started going out more. Girls' nights, she'd call them. Always dressed too nicely for just drinks. Always coming home later and later. The first few times, I believed her. Or maybe I just wanted to. One Friday night, she came back past midnight, smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. When I asked, she laughed. "You're being paranoid," she said. "That's probably from the bar." I nodded, pretending to believe her. But inside, something dark was forming, a mix of suspicion and heartbreak I couldn't shake. I started keeping quiet. Watching. Collecting moments instead of confronting them. The way her phone lit up at odd hours. The new password she put on it. The sudden disinterest in intimacy, replaced by guilt-ridden apologies and half-hearted smiles. One night, I woke to the sound of her whispering in the bathroom. Her voice was soft, intimate. "Stop, I told you I can't talk right now." Then a pause. A quiet laugh. When she came out, she jumped seeing me awake. "I was talking to Claire," she said quickly. "She's going through a breakup." I nodded again, the lie sitting between us like a third person in bed. That was the moment I knew. Not proof, not yet, but knowing doesn't always need evidence. Sometimes it's just a shift in the air, a silence that feels too heavy. Over the next few days, I stopped trying to fix things. I let her talk, let her lie, let her dig her own hole. I smiled when she smiled. I kissed her goodnight even when she flinched away. And while she slept, I searched. It didn't take long. Her phone was face down on the counter one morning while she showered. I picked it up and opened the gallery. A folder called Work Stuff. Inside, screenshots of messages, photos of hotel rooms, and one image that burned itself into my memory. Her reflection in a mirror, wearing nothing but his shirt. The man's face wasn't visible, but his hand was. Tattoo on the wrist. I'd seen it once before, on her coworker, Justin. That was all I needed. I didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. I just put the phone down, walked out of the house, and drove aimlessly until the sun came up. I didn't know what I wanted, revenge, closure, maybe just air. When I came home, she was still asleep. I looked at her for a long time, wondering how someone could look so peaceful after wrecking everything. I didn't confront her that day. Or the next. Instead, I started planning. See, Justin wasn't just some guy from work. He was her project manager, also married, with a kid. The company had strict policies about relationships between team leads and subordinates. I didn't need to destroy her. All I had to do was let the truth do its work. So I gathered everything, screenshots, timestamps, photos, and sent them anonymously to HR. Then I waited. A week later, she came home trembling. "Someone reported me," she said, her voice shaking. "They think I had an affair with Justin." I didn't answer. They're investigating, she continued. They might fire me. I just stared at her. For once, she couldn't read me. Within a month, both she and Justin were terminated. His wife filed for divorce. And her world began to unravel. At first, I thought that was enough. I told myself justice had been served. But karma has a strange sense of timing. After losing her job, she got involved with some people who promised fast money. She started flipping electronics online, reselling stolen goods without realizing, or maybe not caring, where they came from. I warned her once. Be careful, Emily. You don't know who you're dealing with. She laughed. Oh, stop worrying, Ryan. You're always scared of something. That's why I called you a simp. You never take risks. Those words hit harder than she knew. 3 months later, she was arrested. Fraud. Possession of stolen property. A few $1,000s worth of merchandise traced back to her account. I found out when 2 detectives came to the house looking for her. Watching her being handcuffed, mascara streaking down her face, was surreal. I didn't feel triumph, just an emptiness I couldn't name. At the station, she called me from the holding cell. Her voice broke. Ryan, please. Help me. You're the only one I have left. For a long moment, I didn't say anything. Then I remembered every night I'd spent wondering where she was. Every lie she told. Every moment she made me feel small. I already did help you, I said quietly. I stayed. Then I hung up. A few weeks later, I got the final court notice in the mail. 6 months in county jail. Sometimes, I catch myself wondering if she ever thinks about that dinner night. The one where she laughed at me in front of everyone. Maybe she does, sitting alone in that cold cell, realizing the man she called weak was the one who never gave up on her until he had to. I don't hate her. Not anymore. Hate fades. But memory doesn't. Now, when people ask what happened to my marriage, I just smile and say, she made some bad choices. Because the truth is simple. I wasn't a simp. I was loyal. And she mistook loyalty for weakness.